Today's ridiculous. They're still at it. They're running around. We got it set up. No one will believe her. Last night, my boss stopped by, and he went to leave, and there was a vehicle in the parking lot. Okay. They followed him. Okay. And he called me. He said, Karen, he said, I don't mean to scare you or freak you out, but there was a vehicle waiting outside your apartment. He said, and they've made every turn I have. He said they've even got on the highway with me. And I said, get off the phone and call 911. He said, I don't want to panic at this point. He said, but you need to be really careful. And I said, this is what they do to me. They follow me. They do every kind of turn. And then they show up and call me names. I said, don't go home. Whatever you do, don't go home. He's like, I'm not. He said, and I'm not going to freak out. He said, okay, they finally turned off. So I get my boots on. And I want to see if they'll follow me. I go down to get on the highway. A black SUV pulls off. I took care of him. They all sit down. Yeah. They're down here yelling today. We have it set up. No one will believe her. There's real police departments that work the case. They sold the real login to a state case. They blame it on the agency. In Walmart, the agents are selling the login for money. It's going for $25 a pop. Bay Family Church has it. Van Cannon Camp, Youngstown gas stations in Hartville, Macedonia Fire Department, people in Bedford had it, Amazon delivery drivers, teenagers, truck drivers, construction workers. And they set up, now, illegal surveillance. Okay, we're going to put it down to this. They better not have anything before September 28th, 18. I talked to Will at the local FBI in Canton. He's retired now. The 27th. And then the 28th is when the men showed up. Nothing before. Illegal surveillance. You cannot be in someone's home unless it's drugs, murder, espionage, treason. The right to privacy throws it out. Otherwise, no man ever came talk to me about anything dirty. To even see if there was a probable cause. Nobody did. Nobody even came question me about anything. Okay? You can't just go set up cameras because Dave dates Georgia Pete's daughter. No. Matter of fact, they had to excuse themselves from everything because it's a conflict of interest. Okay? Conflict of interest throws everything out. And it's not funny. They said they put two clips together March 2nd to the 3rd. My car spoke. Everybody with the login heard them. We're going to put two clips together, put her in a poll. I made my stomach bleed. I was sitting at outside 1233 13th Street. They're part of it too. I have intestinal swelling from the beating from that idiot. Well, it swells up and bleeds. I get really upset. And that some idiot guy looked at me and said, she's been pooping out blood for the last couple of days. I'm not interested. And walked in that house. Another man was sitting on the front porch, looked up at me and said, I'm not interested in the tape before they were even choking her. And walked back in. There's a Latino family next to it. That weird Eric that's stalking me. They would say something about an Eric and then insult me, and I don't know. Okay? The 4th before that, when I was over there with my client, there was his client's girlfriend. She lives across the street from him. They brought grilled meat over for the pretty other caretaker. She's beautiful. Oh, you're beautiful. And she's like, oh, thanks. You want meat? And we're all laughing because they're over there flirting with her. But Yeah, big difference than when people lie to people. Illegal surveillance, it has to be policed and hired. Significant investigations like drugs, murder, espionage, treason can invade your privacy. Otherwise, the right to privacy is thrown out. That's why they sit in undercover vehicles and watch people, because they can't go in their home. You have a right to privacy. There cannot be a conflict of interest. Like the local officer in Louisville, don't you worry about one thing before the FBI. They had no right in your home, and we can't look, listen, or nothing. You know, when I talked to my ex-husband, just to clarify, everybody was fine. You're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids, no matter who it is. Calls Melissa be pretty rotten if she said anything. He calls her childish. Another tape, he calls her Mark in the dress. He didn't like Mark. Mark was a troublemaker. Okay? Let's see, what else? Yeah. Melissa's kids were caught stating they were lying on Thanksgiving 18. The Massillon police will verify it. They will also verify that my whole family was interviewed and spoke highly of me in 18. They covered all bases so no one could ever say anything about me. I can still hear them outside, even with my windows up. Okay. I'm in Walmart, June 23rd. Some investigators followed me around for a long time. And I'm in there like 10, 15 days before or after buying paint too. They come in, now they tape an audio through the whole store. What are these people talking about? We interviewed her family a whole long time ago. She never hurt anyone. I'm back by the paint aisle, and the next aisle over, there's women there. Oh my goodness, the boys had a trigger to make her say that stuff. Nobody mentions those tapes again. There's an older white man with black hair and dark eyes, white, 50-ish, comes in one of the optical centers of Walmart of either Canton or Massillon before April of 19. Sits down next to me with a baseball hat on. It's me and my men that go shooting at night. That's why you got bruises. I get up and walk off like, who the hell are you? April 19, when I move out, I used to go in the McDonald's in the morning to order my food so I wouldn't feel so alone. He's in there laughing, act like he raped me. You better not have. You can't break in and stab some lady in her sleep. And then take advantage of her. Okay? Now, they have run around blaming everything on the FBI. My one friend works for the prosecutor's office. He talked to an FBI agent. None of this was them. These people have pretended to be FBI. They even blamed the FBI for the chip. March 13th, this year at Altman Hospital, I went in and there was people that have been following me for a while. Tape and audio. Phone goes up. You'll give me how much for a settlement? Okay. You give me how much for a settlement? They're paying people off in front of people, tape and audio. I go in and I get registered. I sit down. Some lady comes in and says, I'm here for Karen's Wild Agency chipped her. The nurse points over at me and says, is that why she's here? A bitch gets in my face. The agency wanted to toast that out. That's why they chipped you. I'm like, shut up. I go in the back. I tell Dr. Alan Antinas, I may have a chip. He goes to leave. There's a man standing there. Some damn bastard neurochipped her. He's like, we already know. Okay, I'm so mad. I get a CT scan without dye. There is a man outside my room. We didn't realize her ex was part of that shooting. A woman walks up outside my room. She's got some swelling around the neurochip. They're not willing to help her. I go to use the restroom, and then Eric's stalking me, calling a nurse, saying, Eric, I know you said blah, 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 blah before, and then security and them are mean to me and call me names. This case is swirling around me. Swirling because nobody will clean it up. I go over to Mercy Medical because I was mistreated. Okay. A lady's outside my room. No man was ever to touch her. The nurse comes in laughing. The only thing they had on you was adjusting yourself, wiping simple water off with clothes on. The guy standing there said, it's sick. And she said, no, it's funny. The only thing they had on her, she wiped some water off with clothes on. That's it. Only thing they had on her was adjusting herself. That's it, adjusting herself. And she said, that's actually funny. A few days later, I go back and they do a CT scan with diet hurt like hell. 12/21/18, if you watch the state case even, someone will come up and stab me in the side of the neck at the refrigerator. I get out of the shower, I come out, and they stab me in the neck. Okay? Abducted out of my home. I wake up with a great big dent, I still have it, in my skull. Hair missing, hair straight up. I have been drugged, I have been chipped. It's a simple surgery. They use it for paralyzed patients even in Cleveland Clinic. They just remove your skull. I did research on it. And they lay the disc down, expand it out, it goes into your brain. They can think of stuff. It goes into cell phones. They can type with computers, with their eyes. They can run video games and even move robots by just thinking. They've had him since 2005 and 6. It's medical field stuff. Our government recognizes it as a legal strategy for the truth. U.S. Supreme Court 18-10134, 2005 11th Circuit. It comes with a 20-year sentence. We have the right to remain quiet. Legal representation. We have a constitution that protects us. Okay? I'm sorry, I'm having a moment. They're still outside. I was raped. I was tortured. I tried to help an Asian lady that said her husband got killed on that gunshot night. She's still around me. I tried at 19 and they tortured me. And the guy claimed he was an agent. And the other guy was a stalker and a fat white man. I was smothered, passed out, drugged, and beat a fake confession up. And they sold that for people's personal enjoyment. Because they try to get around. What do you do with it? What do you do with it? And they want money. They want money out of this. They want me in trouble for this. They can go to hell. 2 days ago, they made up a lie on my other son. So I called him. I said, will you verify this never happened? He's like, fine, it never happened. He said, Mama, I'd just move away if I was you. He said, he said, if they're going to keep doing this, I said I shouldn't have to. And I told him, I said, you know, Dad got caught putting a threat on your family's life, and then your vehicles got tampered with. He's like, oh. I said, it was him. I said, and then there was a gunshot night right before Christmas, and he braked the people. I said, he got caught with men with the guns afterwards. And I ran from him the next day in the house before me. The male nurse's house tried to grab me. And I said, some Asian lady said her husband got killed. He's like, Mom, none of this is funny. And I said, I know. I said, she's still following me. Yeah, another bragging. We got it set up. No one will ever help her. I'm tired of the devil's lies. You know, in the spring, they said, we'll have The middle kid say something. We'll have his son say something. We'll have him say something. We'll have Flora say something. We'll have the twins say something. We'll find somebody to say something about her. It's like, shut up. It's like, shut up. It comes down to shut up. Nobody wants to hear. And I'll tell you what, these stupid people. Illegal surveillance, it has to be police and higher. Significant investigation like drugs, murder, espionage, treason. Right? Because your right to privacy. That's why the police sit outside in surveillance trucks. And the FBI. Mm-hmm. They don't break in your home and stab you with needles. They even said in the dark, Chris, no man really talked to her. We used her serum on her instead. Sodium pentothal, we go over this every day. Every day. False confession, sodium pentothal questioner gets what it wants, right or wrong. Lethal sodium pentothal. It's used in anthrax and lethal injections. And then illegal sodium pentothal, FDA prohibits any use in humans and not to be brought in the United States. They're not going to give you a lethal injection to make you say yes to everything and falsely confess to everything. It came out 8/8/8/15 at night this year, 21. Or actually last year, 21. Did you know he fentanyled her and told her to say it before? No, we just found out. We just didn't know. They already knew the kids were lying. Then 8/9, first thing in the morning, the apartment building for me, second closest to the fence. It's so funny, she figured out it was Dave. She finally figured out it was Dave that drugged her first. Well, a guy with a badge showed up a few days later and said it loud enough for both parking lots to hear. Yes, he did drug her before and tell her that, and they did. 1295 Fairlawn, middle apartment, little white lady right for Christmas. Right before May 25th. Right before May 25th of 21. It's not funny the church people broke in before, drugged her, and told her say she's a weirdo molester. That's not funny they did that. May 25th, Louisville Wendy's was talking about the crew in front of my old client, Jeff. Jeff told Jim and Brian, my neighbors, he heard it and it was too dark for him. A bunch of people in town were calling them bastards. December 9th, I was in the Hunger Task Force. There's a bald man that used to watch me. I don't know who he is, but I remember seeing him. He come out and he said, it makes my stomach turn to see her in a place like this. We always knew those tapes before were them, not her, so we never said anything. I'm not shaking. I'm so angry. Okay? I go a couple places with my new client. We go back to his apartment. Now, Ed is the maintenance man at Oakland apartment. It's either 3805 or 4805 Cleveland Avenue in Canton. He's on the phone at 4 o'clock December 9th. He has his head turned away from me. What, those tapes before were them, not her? Wow. What's going on? It's a group of men doing as many crimes as they can to see if someone will actually stop them. Okay? A few days later, they're up above my client's apartment because it's just down in a ravine. And they're out there swarming, yelling stuff, and my whole body's shaking. These people have raped me. They have abducted me, chipped me, stabbed me in my sleep with amnesia drugs. I don't know them. And I can see their vehicles that they scream stuff at me up there, and I'm like shaking. You ever been tortured? They tortured me because I tried to help an Asian lady. Okay? They said her husband got killed. I literally was shaking. There's an older African American man he walked up to Ed. He said, I found out what's going on. None of this is funny. She's scared to death of those people. Okay? He said, I know. I already told him the tapes before were them, not her. And it's a bunch of men doing crimes down here. He said the guy at the task force already told him to. Alright. You want more witnesses? Huntington Bank. October 5th, 21, 1:53 p.m. I check out, go about 5-10 minutes before I walk in with my new client. I don't want Melissa getting no money out of this. That's okay. They knew they made everything up. They just didn't want anybody to help her. October 2nd to the 3rd of 21. I'm at Mercy Medical because I keep getting real bad headaches from the neurochip. And ladies there's like, she's an informant telling an officer. I help watch her. She said they're all lying on her. He's like, okay, I'll make sure no one says anything to her. Okay. Within, the last 2 weeks, I was in Walgreens in Maslin. 2 older ladies that help watch me. They come in and then they sit down and laugh by the pharmacy. They really did speak highly of my children. They had told me in 19 that my family spoke very highly of me when I was with Dave. Okay? I'm so upset because I can't deal with this and my new client. So I excuse myself, go look in the candy aisle. There's a girl and a guy at the end of the aisle, and just walk into the next aisle so I can hear them. She's like, I told you, I seen her out the other day. I told you what they were doing to her. He said, well, I thought they were done with her, and I'm just getting angry. How dare you let them even touch me? And he said, I always knew they made everything up. He said, boy, did I know. I'm so angry. My voice is stuttering. They knew. It left me in hell. I go to pay for my candy and a few items, and I'm stuttering like this to the lady. I'm like, I'm sorry. My ex had people break in and beat me. And when people say stuff to me, I stutter. And she's like, ma'am, I'm sorry. No, they were breaking yesterday. We have it all set up. No one will ever help us. Like, shut up and stop lying. Like I said, my middle son, they made up a lie on him. I called him. I said, would you just verify this? He's like, yeah, I'll verify it. He said, that never happened. A whole bunch of people start screaming. I'm tired of their lies to cover up their crimes. Like I said, illegal surveillance. Always thrown out. You had no right in my home. Like the officer in Louisville, they had no right. Prosecutor, they had no right. Maslin Police, it's not admissible. Not one thing for the FBI. It's not admissible. You cannot set up cameras and watch somebody because your spouse is dating one of the fucking judge's kid's daughter, you know? You can't do that. Matter of fact, they had to excuse themselves from everything. They couldn't even help watch me. They couldn't be in my home. No man came talk to me, no lady. You can't just go set up at cameras because Dave's dating Judge Pete's daughter. Matter of fact, the whole police department had to excuse itself. They break, they stay out of the gunshot night. Because Dave's girlfriend's prettier. And the guy running it didn't blame him. Find out it was her father. They said, no, this is funny, they're dead. Two African American men with dreadlocks at the self-pay register. Older white guy with gray hair and a mustache at Wood Forest. You can still get the dates before April 19th. They stayed out there for the bloody whore in the store in Ravenna. Memorial Day weekend 2019 food counter. Walmart 62 told you accessible. All white woman, African American man. For it's my daughter, her husband Nancy. Men are in Ravenna. When she was having a stomach spell, it's for my daughter they did all this for. And our family down here watching her doing this. And for who's Karen's rich boyfriend? But the state of Ohio, who protects her? Michelle's mother, Judge Pete's boyfriend. There was a Lauren, a big boob girl, and a dark-haired pretty girl, all connected to the courthouse. That's why the guys participated. And they ran around bragging. We did October 5th outside McDonald's in Belden. They did all this because they liked his girlfriend better. Its conflict of interest is thrown out. They weren't allowed in my house. You cannot set up surveillance and watch someone. They lied to people that an attorney had a court order. No, the law states that attorneys can only tape you out in public. The law states. The law states that judges cannot be involved in anything for friends or family. And the police cannot help out in a case when they're biased. They had no right in my home. There was no probable cause. No man ever came talk to me. And they would have to went to the FBI. They didn't go to the FBI. I went to the FBI because Dave said his girlfriend was rich and powerful and our family owned the police. Nobody owns the police. They decide if they're going to do right or wrong. They're human beings. And they took an oath to uphold the law. And so did that judge. It's supposed to be Judge Pete from Ravenna. Courthouse. Now, illegal surveillance is already thrown out. And you can't do bedrooms, bathrooms, nudes, and you can't share. Everything. They sold the, they sold the law again to a real estate case. And people have all my horror for personal enjoyment. They would break in and stab me with needles and kept me drugged up there all the time. I would walk Dave to the door, lock the door, turn the security system up, go in and lock my bedroom door. I'd wake up with injection marks around my knees. And I didn't know who did it. I go down to Walmart. I told you about those weirdos saying they had sodium pentothal reports and threatened to arrest me if I told. And I'm like, who are you? And what are you doing? And walk off. You know what I mean? I never let him in my... I never talked to no officer, no agent, no anybody about anything dirty or wrong. I only told Will at the FBI I was scared. I forgot to tell on the idiot that told Pamela the night before. And here it's either one of those guys' kids or it's an undercover police officer from that courthouse. None of this was FBI. Yeah. It was the Ravenna courthouse. They can't look, they can't listen before September 28th. Not a thing. It's all drugged and photoshopped anyways. Christmas Eve, the apartment building for me, second one close to the fence. There was a white man with a light brown hair, light brown beard. I went outside my apartment. They were warning him. Karen's will don't want you to say anything about what's going on down here. She yelled at him really loud for the neighbors to hear. I don't care. I already talked to someone. She did back in August. And so did the lady at 1295 Fairlawn. And so did Ed. And so did the guy at the Hunger Task Force. You want me to keep going? They sold a login. I took my new client to Mercy Medical about a month ago. Went in the back to check on him, then went back out. The nurses were laughing. Boy, we know they drugged her and told her to say it before. Mm-hmm. You want to play? They sold a login. I was in, I think it's Sheets on West Husk a couple days before Christmas in the evening. Some lady walked in and looked at me and said, we all know what they did. Everybody knows. Even, I mean, you want me to keep going to all the places? Even Perry Middle School, one of Daniel's teachers. Once he got in the vehicle and said, it's funny, everybody knows what's going on, but her family. I'm tired of them threatening me with their crimes on me. I'm tired of them threatening me with their crimes they did to me. And it comes down to that. Where they were running around Giant Eagle, the first of 21. It's so funny she doesn't know. It's so funny she doesn't know. Around the register, a whole group of them from Ravenna. Okay? It's so funny she doesn't know. Well, no, those are bitch moves. You illegally surveillance somebody, put clips together. They said it was a shower scene they put in another room where you wash yourself. Because I kept thinking, I'm not worried about myself. Then it's like, when do you touch yourself a shower? I go outside and they're laughing. She figured out what they did. I had black and blue alerts before I called the FBI. Thought it was from moving wood. Here they were drugging me. Dave was drugging me. Got 2 witnesses in my phone alone of the church people breaking in before drugging me, telling me say weird molester stuff. And then other people have come down here. We talked to all her witnesses, and none of this is funny. But we drugged her and told her to say everything we wanted, and she hasn't met us yet. Isn't that funny? To realize what a Stark County judge would do to them. Because the law states illegal surveillance is already thrown out. You have to compensate the victim. It's a law states. It's a law biting you in the ass. Biting you in the ass. It comes down to biting you in the ass. So you can't Photoshop somebody. You can't break in and stop your tapes and have them drug me and tell me to say something stupid. Mike, my one neighbor, got roofied in a bar. I told you about him. He finally, after like 5 months, went back to that bar. They said, you want to see the tape of that night? Tape and audio. He was watching him. He told everybody he was an astronaut. And all kinds of crazy stuff. They roofied him and he went nuts. Drove himself home like that. Took himself to the bank, took himself out to eat, changed his shoes, sat down out in his vehicle, and he's like, how did I get here? You're sleepwalking. Roofies are not funny. But yeah, there was one time on one of my legs, I had 6 marks on one leg and like 2 on the other. They were drugging me every few days, if not every day for a while, breaking and stabbing me. I'd wake up and where I had hardwood floors, I cleaned them every night because I had puppies. And I'd keep that house spotless because I loved it. Okay. And I would go in and I would, after I walked Dave out, I would turn the security system on and I would lock my bedroom door. And sometimes I thought I heard something. And I just roll over and go back to sleep because I have the security system on. And then I'd wake up with bruises. And like I said, one time I had like 8 marks on my legs. It was bad. And they just kept me drugged up all the time up there. And it was every few days to almost every day. And with intestinal swelling from the beating and then drugging me, I couldn't even keep liquids down. At one point, I was losing 5 to 7 pounds a week. I went from 212 to 217. And time I moved out, I was 150 pounds from October to April. And now I think I'm like 135. It's that much difference. That's insane. Absolutely insane. And it's because I couldn't hardly keep anything down. At one point, I couldn't even keep liquids because they were drugging me so bad. The only thing that stops them is blockading the doors. And they want to threaten me with their crimes. No coerced confession is admissible. There was no Miranda rights wrote. There was no probable cause, and nobody ever asked me any questions. In the beginning of the case, some guy came in Walmart, heavyset white guy. I asked Dave if he knew anything about these people threatening her. I told him he better not put his hands on her until I find out. He left. Even a police officer or an agent would have to go question him. Just, he could lie to him. But they had to ask him. It's the law. My neighbor, Keith, he's remarried to Melinda. His wife, trying to get everything, told the police he had lost his kids. Okay? They came over and questioned him, and the answer was, yeah, right, you would do that. He got his kids. Josh, the same thing with Alice. They just took a social worker meeting him, and he got Flora custodial rights. You can't use your children as weapons. Melissa's kids were caught stating they were lying on Thanksgiving of 18 or making everything up. To Flora, the real place, and hire. And since they sold the login, everybody knows they lied. And they even caught Melissa telling them to lie. That's how stupid all this is. And they did tell me by 19, just to cover all bases, they did. In the interview, my whole family had never heard anyone. And they spoke very highly of me. They better. I almost died to save him. Dave said he was going to kill them all. He put a hit on Joshy's family's life. And then their vehicles got tampered with. And I was trying to get him caught, and he got caught, and they let him go. Why? Because he dates Judge Pete's daughter. I was talking to the prosecutor. He said, it's a state law in domestic violence. They hurt you, and they cause you injury. They have to go to jail. It's a state law. I reported it. He did it while the police were watching me. Did they arrest him? No. Sexually assaulted me. And did they arrest him? No. Got caught with shooters on a gunshot night. Tape and audio. Outside with them. How they kill people. Is he in jail? No. Did I report it? Yeah. They covered it up and let him go. Why? Because he dates Judge Pete's daughter. Judge Pete's in a lot of trouble, and so are the police up there. Maybe they need some cameras from, News Crew up there of what the hell you're doing. Did you set up illegal surveillance in this woman's home? We can't look at it. It's a law. What the hell were you doing in her home? There was no drugs, murder, espionage, treason. There's a right to privacy. You can't be involved. He was dating that judge's daughter. And they left Judge Pete's name everywhere. And the police couldn't work the case. Nobody talked to her. Did you stab her with lethal drugs? Did you use that so-called truth serum? Did you say yes to everything? Did you drug this woman? Was it your police department? Those different ones with the dark gray truck, the light gray truck, the medium blue, the white, and the black one? Following around clear into Stark County, out of this county? Was that them? That work in the courthouse? Hmm? Were they the ones that abducted her and put that chip in her head? And then you blame the FBI, pretending to be your FBI agents? But they like some news reporters in their face. Because guess who goes to jail? It's not me. It's them. And not one thing for the FBI. It's all drugged, it's altered, it's photoshopped. Some stupid women walk by my apartment. We'll have her admit to everything before we're done with her. I'm like, you amnesia drug me. That's stupid. I don't even know you. No women came in my house. What are you talking about? I come down to my new client's apartment. Some guys are in the basement talking. It's stupid. They drugged her and told her to say it. And they want her to admit to it. What part of amnesia drugs do you not understand? It's amnesia drugs that you stabbed me with, and you may have damaged my heart. I may have a septic impact in my heart because of you people. Documented it wasn't there. I need medical treatment. I need the chip out. I need my heart looked at. And these assholes, I'll tell you what, they said, well, at least we're getting the truth out of her. You know what we'll get? How about put a dog shock collar on their neck, give me the control, and we'll get the truth out of them of how many people they've done this to. They were breaking last spring. If it was anybody else, they would be in jail on crimes they didn't commit. They almost got away with it till they started bragging. And Kurt, do you think it's funny framing an innocent woman? I was even in Giant Eagle, between Thanksgiving and probably January, Thanksgiving of 20 to January of 19, and right before that. And they said they almost got away with this till they started breaking. Okay? And I go in the back, there's a group of them from Ravenna, women. What about Dave and the Gunshot Night? He actually did it. Keep it on you in front of people. Back by the lunch meat counter. No, how not funny is this? And they want me in trouble for them trucking me and telling me to say something stupid. And I haven't talked to anybody. And Dave on tape, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids, no matter who it is. Because I expected him to say that. I don't get in trouble for their crimes they did to me. And they had no right in my home. And conflict of interest charge. Yeah, it gets thrown out. And the law states they go to jail if they have one thing before the FBI. May, around Memorial Day, they yelled at him, you better get rid of all your tapes before and shut the fuck up. They better not have one. There's even revenge porn laws, and where they put the two clips together and put a shower scene in another room of washing myself. Had to find out had to find out through different hints what they did and where they did it and what they did. People have to tell me. That's why they thought it was funny. I didn't know. It's bitch moves. Can they set up cameras and watch you? Can the police go in and do that? Just because your spouse dates one of their kids? Matter of fact, they can't even work a case against you. It's conflict of interest. Get thrown out. They would have had to went to them. Can they police break in and stab you with needles until you say something stupid? No. Can they share an investigation? No. Group of men doing as many crimes as they can to see if someone will actually stop them. Can they give an attorney a quarter to go to? Attorneys can only tape you out in public. See what I mean? It takes me a minute to Google. You can't do this. You can't do this. But we drugged her and told her to say everything we want, and she never met us. Isn't that funny? These people have raped me. They have tortured me. They abducted me from my home. And they use something that they use in paralyzed patients to communicate. It's very real. Just have to Google paralyzed man plays video game with brain chip. Paralyzed man types with a computer with brain chip. It even comes up with the one that they did to me where they talk into cell phones with just their minds. They communicate. Had it since 2005. It's an illegal strategy for the truth. The hospital said they take that chip out. My brain will go back to normal. But that chip needs removed. And I need medical treatment. And I need somebody to do their job. This case makes people swear. Children call them bastards. Reprobate bastards. Teenagers call them asses. Some teenagers are nicer to me. She pays all the time because his ass is beat her. These people need to fucking go to jail. Yeah. That kind of shit. I need someone to come help me. They think they got it set up that no one will ever help me. Well, that would make you part of the problem. Like the officer in Louisville, don't you worry about one thing before the FBI. We can't look. We can't listen. We can't do anything. I said, but they said they drugged me and told me to say something stupid. I don't care. But they said they photoshopped me in a porn. I don't care. We can't look. We can't listen. They have no right in your home. Yeah. My brother had home surveillance cameras out in the open to watch his grandson Alan that is handicapped. His caretaker grabbed Alan's remote out of his hand. He can't talk. He grunts. And he went to get it back, and he's screaming at Alan. And Alan, being handicapped, shoved him. Pete tried to take it to the judge and show him what they did. Do you know they put that baby in jail for 2 months for shoving him? Said, I can't look at it. You know why they couldn't look at it? It wasn't police and hire and significant investigation without a conflict of interest. It can be altered. Just like they were going to race that other guy out because he didn't think about what they did to me before, and they were still altering their tapes. They're nothing but shit. Shit, photoshopping, and stopped and drugged and told to say something stupid. Some guy in the dark yelled out, we all know she's a victim of an occult that drugged her before and tried to murder her. We all know she's a victim of an occult that drugged her and drugged her and tried to murder her. It's not your fault when you're the victim. And these people think they're going to get me in trouble, and I've never talked to no man. You want to play FBI? I don't know what it is with man instead of no one. But I've talked to no man. You want to play that? Will told me to trust no man, and I took that one to heart. I need help. And this needs to stop. Because they are going to hurt more people. And they have no right to open their mouths and threaten me with their crimes. And I've never met them. They drive by and yell stuff at me. And people are stupid to even listen to them or want to look at their drugged confessions and their altered tapes. Would you want it done to you? And I've never met them. And that police department, like even the Maslin police, it's finally got funny after everything they did to her. Nothing's admissible. Prosecutor, it's not admissible. Louisville police, it's not admissible. We can't look at a thing before the FBI. It's September 28th, 18th. They can watch them drug the hell out of me. And they were doing it before. That's why I had bruises. It wasn't from moving wood. Stinking damn bastard. Some guy in a black car yelled it from the highway. Damn bastards! Started giggling. Some truck driver pulled up. They tried to file the false evidence. See? I start laughing. It is false and everybody knows that. They have made this whole case public. It's not funny. Please stop. And tell them to shove their tapes and their druggies up their ass. Or better, I like the shot collar. We'll get it out of them how many more people they've done this to. 5 judges tried to destroy 41 lives. It was on the internet. Had them raped and framed. They went to jail 6 to 20 years. 139 judges refused to excuse herself for being biased for friends and family. It's a 10-year sentence or $1 million fine. Like the officer said, Portage County could never say anything to me in my life because of those girls. I went on Portage County courthouse records. There's nothing filed. They said they made up a case to watch me June of 19 at Liberty House share in front of the North Canton or Jackson police. And they thought it was funny they did it. It's not. And no man's ever talked to me. And they wiped out the staying quiet when that idiot told Paymer the night before. And it doesn't matter if it's a police officer, a friend, he pretended to be an FBI agent. And freaked Paymer out. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. Like I said, he looks just like Judge Timothy Ludick. He has black hair, dark eyes, black glasses, white, 5'9", 165, maybe 5'10". He's sitting down, late 30s. Paymer got into his face in front of about 7,500 people. We got in the vehicle. He's like, "You called the FBI on me?" I said, "Like, what do you expect me to have done?" Have all these people threatening me. If I would have just remembered to tell Will, he would have found out. And it wasn't the FBI. They've blamed them for everything. And none of it was them. I feel bad. Because when they're running around and saying the agency did it to me, who was I supposed to expect? I couldn't figure out why they were being mean to me. I didn't know who was doing it. I was getting drugged out of my mind. People are stalking me, trying to shoot me when I'm driving. Dave's beating up me with internal injuries. They abducted me, put a chip in my head. I'm lucky to be alive and trying to get them caught. And then I take people for what they knew and witnessed so they wouldn't get away with what they were doing to me, so there wouldn't be another victim. Some of the guys that watched me, she said, I've never even lived through what she has. Somebody should have got me the hell out of here. None of this